everyone. I'm here with Nicole, the gut girl. Thanks for being here, Nicole.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so if you guys are interested in health, fitness, working out, nutrition, subscribe to the channel. We do a lot of interviews with a lot of different people. So we're going to talk about the negative of birth control or the downfalls of birth control. Now, there's a lot of different kinds. Do they all have a downfall?
In my opinion, whenever you're messing with someone's natural hormones, it's going to have a negative effect on someone. And I just think that, and there's lots of times that people, have no choice. They don't want to have children in a certain amount of time period. Um, where I get very different is if someone's doing it and a doctor has told them because they have acne or they have terrible menstrual cycles and putting them on a birth control for that for long periods of time, I really disagree with doing it for those reasons. If someone has like acne and skin issues, you should get to the root cause of why you have those issues rather than using a birth control to blunt your hormones.
Okay, so you're not talking about physical birth control, like condoms.
No, I'm talking about women's birth control.
Okay, so
Like,
you're talking about medication,
right.
pharmaceuticals.
Yes,
Okay, just wanted
absolutely.
to make sure that we know what we're talking about. So,
Yes.
um, yeah, I mean, I've heard that a lot, young girls being put on it because of acne or kind of trying to mess with their hormones and you're tricking your body, right?
Right, absolutely. So a lot of the time what happens is a, a woman gets put on birth control and they're overdoing the estrogen in their body. So now what happens is you're depleting nutrients like magnesium, zinc, vitamin E, folate, B12, B6, all of those kind of things, which we really need in our system. So now when you're depleting that, plus you're messing with the hormones, the next thing that can happen also is you could have thyroid dysfunction because the the overabundance of estrogen can block the thyroid binding protein of thyroid. So now you're having a disruption in your thyroid, and that's a big deal, and lots of people can't figure out, wow, what I can't I don't know what happened to my thyroid, but it could lead right back to when you were on birth control because you depleted so many vitamins. Plus, it was the uptick in estrogen. And also, there's a lot of other things. It disrupts the gut lining because you're robbing yourself of nutrients. And a lot of those nutrients come with helping that gut lining stay intact. So I see a lot of people in my practice that are really wanting to get off birth control because they're seeing the negative side effects of it.
So, would you just recommend don't do any type of pharmaceutical birth control?
Yes, that gets very tricky because people really don't want to be pregnant sometimes. There's lots of other methods. You can track your periods, you can track your ovulation. Um, as much as I don't want anything synthetic in the body, use a condom. Um, it would really help to not have the disruption of hormones. Plus, you're disrupting hormones. Normally, this happens at the time period when women should be and have the peak of their hormones, and now you're blunting those. And I really, really disagree with that.
I guess it's all depends on what your priorities are, right?
Right.
But would it be true in your opinion that the longer you're on some type of medication for birth control, the worse it gets, or the more it's going to do harm?
Absolutely. Especially if you don't know, if you've never been told what you're depleting and what could be happening, you're probably never thinking it's your birth control or how to replenish those kind of things. Women should be on a B complex. Women should be on a multivitamin. You should be getting folate in your diet. you should be, so now you could be pairing a terrible standard American diet that doesn't have a lot of nutrients with birth control, and it's depleting nutrients. So you can see where this domino effect just keeps getting worse and worse and worse.
Do you think some doctors probably don't even know what's being depleted?
That's
Is that
I've
something they
seen.
learn? I mean,
I would hope so. I would hope so. But do you know how many women I've seen in my office and they're like, I was never told any of this. And that, I think that's sad because a lot of people are getting it for, you know, crazy periods. And, but they're not being offered, here, let's test your hormones and see what's off with them to give you that crazy menstruation cycle. Instead, they're just being put on a birth control. And I think that's wrong.
so you're talking about if they're not trying to control, they're not trying, or they don't, it's not that they don't want to get pregnant. They're trying to fix something else with a birth
Right.
control pill.
Absolutely. And I'm seeing that more and more and more. I have a lot of 20 somethings in my practice, and all of them are being put on birth control for, you know,
The
periods
wrong
that are
reason.
really for hormone issues, that kind of stuff, but they're not, but their hormones aren't being tested. So, how can you put somebody on something that's going to disrupt your hormones if you haven't even tested their hormones?
Right. And there's a lot of moving parts with the woman's hormones. We know that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so Nicole, hormones and the gut are two of your specialties.
Yes.
So I know that you have programs for that. If people want to get a hold of you, find out more about what you do, how do they do that?
You can reach me at the email, thegutgirl1, the number one at gmail.com, or you can get me on any social media platform at the Gut Girl NV.
Okay, and if they mention they saw this little discussion we had, you'll give them $100 off, right?
Yes, I will.
All right, Nicole, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.